Welcome, everybody, to Tino's Time. And after 7 months, a crazy summer, long nights of baseball, 30 teams, 8 teams, 10 teams made it to the playoffs. We're down to 2. The championship round was something that was totally exciting, and it was everything that we wanted in the Final Four. But like I said, we're down to the final 2. But before we talk about the final 2, let's do a little bit of a recap of everything that went down in the MLB Championship Series for the MLB playoffs. And in the American League, we saw the Houston Astros versus the Boston Red Sox. And this series was everything that we thought it was gonna be. We saw the Astros take game 1 5-4. Game 2, the Red Sox came back and they won 9-5. Game 3, the Red Sox completely demolished the Astros, and the Red Sox were feeling good. They beat the Astros 12-3. But game 4, 5, and 6, the Astros said this ain't gonna happen, and we're gonna prove everybody wrong, and we're gonna show them that we really aren't the trash can banging team that everybody really thought that we were. In game 4, they won 9-2. Game 5, they won 9-1. And in game 6, they didn't allow the Red Sox to score, and they won 5-0. And the Houston Astros won the AL pennant and now are going on to the World Series, and they are the American League Championships after defeating the Boston Red Sox in the ALCS. For the National League, we saw the defending champions LA Dodgers, after sneaking into the playoffs as the first wild card after the Giants just had a phenomenal regular season. We saw the Dodgers beat the Giants and beat the best team in the National League and move on to the NLCS. We saw the Atlanta Braves beat the Milwaukee Brewers and move on to the NLCS. And this series was something, we thought the Dodgers were going to win it. We thought that it was going to be the Dodgers again. The Dodgers had it. The Braves were a team that were in this situation last year, and they went up a little bit, but the Dodgers came back and they went on to win the World Series last year. But the Braves had something to prove this year, and they allowed that to happen, and they proved everybody that they are here to stay after all the awful injuries that they went to. Game 1, they won 3-2. Game 2, they won 5-4, and the Braves went up 2-0, just like they did last year. And we thought, are they going to be able to do this? Are we going to see a repeat? And in Game 3, the Dodgers ended up winning a close one, 6-5. And, we thought, oh, here we go again. The Dodgers are going to win it. They're going to come back, and the Braves are going to be having nightmares and anxiety attacks and PTSD because the same thing that happened last year is going to happen this year. But in Game 4, the Braves came out and said, hell nah. They said that we're here to stay. They won the game 9-2, and then they were up to 3-1, and the Dodgers came back and they put a spanking on the Braves. They won 11-2, and the Dodgers were feeling good. They were ready to go. They were going to come back. They were going to win Game 6. They were going to go on to Game 7 and go on to the World Series. But the Braves did not allow that happen. The Braves did not allow that to happen, and in Game 6, they ended up dethroning the defending World Series champions, the team that's pretty much owned the National League for the last 5 to 6 years, the Dodgers. They won that series, and now congratulations to your National League champions, your National League pennant champion team, the Atlanta Braves. And there you have it. We're down to the final 2 teams. It's the Houston Astros versus the Atlanta Braves. This World Series is going to be exciting. But before I preview the World Series, let's talk about who won the National League and American League MVP for the championship series. And in the American League, we saw Yonder Alvarez was named the MVP for the American League Championship Series. After going 4-for-4 on Friday night in the Astros pennant clinching 5-0 win in Game 6, Minute Maid Park just went insane, and it was outrageous, and it was just everything that they wanted. The Houston Astros went on, like I said earlier, to win. They advanced to the World Series for the third time in 5 years. The Astros have just completely dominated the American League, just like we talked about the Dodgers in the National League. Alvarez hit 552. He went 12 for 23 with a homer. He had 5 extra base hits. He had 7 runs scored, 6 RBIs, and a 1.408 on base percentage in the series, and that was phenomenal. And he was a big reason on why the Houston Astros went on to make it to the World Series. Also, the pitcher Valdez, we'll be talking about him in a little bit. He'll be pitching in Game 1, and he had a phenomenal relief appearance in Game 5, and it was a big reason on why the Astros were able to keep the Red Sox down and move on to the World Series. But now for the National League, and if you guys remember back in July, the Braves had to completely revamp their whole outfield. They lost Ronald Acuna Jr. They just were losing everybody. The injuries were just obliterating the outfield, and it was just not good. So at the trade deadline, they went out and got Eddie Rosario, Jorge Soler, and Jock Peterson. And those three were a big reason on why they were able to get to the World Series, but especially Eddie Rosario in the NLCS. This man had a batting average of .560. That means he went 14 for 25, 3 home runs, 9 RBIs. He went around the bases and he touched 26 total bases. His slugging percentage was 1.040. His on-base percentage was 1.647. He had 14 hits, tied for the MLB record for a single playoff series, and it was just phenomenal, and it was just scary to watch what Eddie Rosario did in this series. And honestly, he lifted the Braves up, and he got them to be able to dethrone the defending champions, the World Series champions, the LA Dodgers. And like I said, we finally have the World Series. We're down to 2 teams. It's the Atlanta Braves versus the Houston Astros in one of the best games, the American pastime. It's time for these 2 teams to go at it and fight for the World Series trophy. So who is going to win this series? Who do we have? In Game 1, we talked about it. The Astros have announced that Framero Valdez will be pitching, and for the Braves, it will be Charlie Morton. And in the second game, the Braves have announced Mike Fried. He will be pitching Game 2, and for the Houston Astros in Game 2, they haven't really announced who is going to be the pitcher for Game 2. We did see that, sadly, Lance McCullers Jr. will not be able to play in the World Series. We have not seen him since the American League DS, since the ALDS series versus the Chicago White Sox. He pitched a few games in that series, but ever since then, he has not been able to pitch, and it just does not look like he's going to be able to pitch the rest of the season. So the Astros are going to have to go into the series without McCullers. They're one of their best pitchers. And, in this series, I think it's going to be awesome. We saw the Braves. They were only a couple games under 500 starting off August 1st. And now seeing this team, after everything that they've been through this year, to be in the World Series and defeating dethroning the LA Dodgers, the team that has completely owned the National League for so long, I just cannot wait to see and what happens in this series. It's going to be phenomenal, and I cannot wait. But my prediction is going to be, I think that this series is going to go 7 games. I don't know. I don't see nobody sweeping. I don't see nobody I can't see that. Both teams are so good. They have such good pitching. The way the Braves are hitting, the Astros have hit all season long, and in the playoffs, they just are the Astros, trash can banging, whatever you want to call them. I don't see this series going less than 7 games. So it's going to go all 7. And in the end, I'm going to take the Atlanta Braves to win the World Series and become your MLB 2021 World Series champions for the season. And I'm going to make a little bit of a prediction because I really haven't done it in my past shows because I really wanted to, but I just didn't. And, I want to make sure I do it for the World Series. So I'm going to give you who I think will be the MVP of the World Series, and we'll go back and see if I got it right because honestly, I did not see Eddie Rosario being the NLCS MVP after, Eddie Rosario, he was on the Twins. But it seems like it's always that guy that comes out of nowhere, a team trades for, and he's just that missing piece that you need. And that's why the trade deadline is so important, because now that you look back on it, the Braves really, this wasn't a huge move. But now he's the NLCS champion, MVP, and now they're moving on to the World Series. So for the MLB World Series MVP, I'm going to take the guy that's been in Atlanta forever. This guy's going to come out and he's going to ball in the World Series, and he's going to lead the Braves to a Game 7 win and the Atlanta Braves holding the World Series trophy. It's going to be Freddy Freeman. Freddy Freeman, he's been with the Braves for so long. He's been with the team with the ups and the downs and the losing and the sucking, the bad, the good, everything. So I think it's time to get Freddy Freeman that World Series trophy, and let's give him the MLB MVP ring and everything that goes along with it when he does win it and when he proves that he is one of the best players in the game. And the Braves prove that they are the best team in the MLB this year. Because let's be real, people, is anybody rooting for the Astros unless you live in Houston? Because I don't see it happening. But that's who I'm taking to win the World Series. So there you have it. We've went over the championship series. I gave you a little bit of a recap. And we went over the World Series, and I told you who I think the MLB World Series champions are going to be for the 2021 season. So until the World Series is over and we find out who wins the championship and who is the best team in the MLB this season, get ready to watch out for a World Series recap show and my goodbye for the MLB season. Don't forget to keep checking out Tino's Time for all your fantasy football needs. Weekly, 7 p.m., Tuesday nights, Central Standard Time. We also have Tino's Time Wrestling. We have Halloween Havoc tomorrow, this upcoming Tuesday, tonight, my bad. This upcoming Tuesday, tonight, like I just said, Halloween Havoc is tonight. So go check out Tino's Time on YouTube for Tino's Time Wrestling, Halloween Havoc pre-show. And like I said, until we find out who's winning the World Series and who is the champions, this is your boy Tino signing out.